Hello everyone and welcome to the next part of your lesson on percentage expressions. Today we're dealing with commission. Commission is the extra amount of money that you pay a real estate agent to help you buy a house. So just like everything else we've dealt with so far, it's something extra. It's something more that you pay. It's an additional charge, okay? But anyway, let's dive right in. So let's start with a practice problem. Let's say that you get this problem. If a realtor sells a house for, I don't know, Y dollars and earns let's say they earn a 20% commission, write an expression showing how much money she will earn. Okay, so let's take a look at this. The realtor is selling a house. The realtor is selling the house for Y dollars, and we are only looking for the commission. So if you're buying the house for Y dollars, you don't need to include it. No. You just want the additional commission the realtor is going to get. Now in this case, the additional commission is going to be, so she bought the house for 100% of Y, and then someone had to pay the realtor a commission of 20% of Y. Remember, this is how much you paid for the house. You're not paying it to the realtor. Think of the realtor as a waiter, right? You remember how for waiters, there's the money you would pay for the meal, and then you pay an additional amount of money to the waiter, right? But the waiter only gets the additional amount of money. The waiter doesn't get the original, yeah? It's the same thing with commission. In this case, the original amount of money goes toward the house, and the real estate agent gets the commission only. Okay, so if the realtor sells a house for Y dollars and earns a 20% commission, write an expression showing how much money she will earn. The realtor isn't earning any of the original amount of money, so the realtor is only earning 20% of Y. 20%, well, we're going from percent to decimal, that's right to left. We take the 20%, we find the decimal point at the end, and we're moving it 2 spaces to the left, that's 0.20, and that's going to be 0.20 times Y. That's my answer, that's my expression. The realtor is going to earn 0.20 Y, 20% of Y, okay? Let's do another example. Alright, so let's say a realtor sells a house for K dollars and earns a 7% commission. Write an expression showing how much money she will earn, just like last time. The house itself is worth 100% of K, and then the realtor's commission is going to be 7% of K. The amount of money from the house does not go to the realtor. We're not interested. We just want to find 7% of K. Well, percent to decimal. We're going to take the 7%. We find the decimal point at the end and we move it 2 spots to the left. You must move it 2 spots to the left. This invisible space that you found up here, you're going to fill that in with a 0. Then you put your decimal point there. So 7% as a decimal is 0.07. So the answer here is the realtor gets 0.07 times K. The realtor gets 7% of K. Okay, moving on. Let's do another example. Here, let's say a realtor sells a house for F dollars and earns a 1.75% commission. Same exact situation as always. Okay, so the house itself was 100% of F, and the realtor got an additional 1.75% of f. Now some of you may be saying, Mr. Pearson, this looks weird. Why is there a decimal inside the percentage point? You can have a decimal inside a percent. I'll show you how it works. First of all, the 100% that we paid for the house, we don't care about that. That doesn't go to the realtor. Okay, let's take a look at 1.75%. We need to convert that into a decimal. Even though it has a decimal point right now, because it has a percentage sign, we still need to convert it to a decimal. So let's follow the rules. I know I go from percentage to decimal right to left 2 times. Okay, so I'm going to take my decimal point and I'm going to move 1, 2 spots to the left. That's it. Just always move 2 spots to the left. Okay, the decimal point goes there. The invisible space that I left up here needs to be filled in with a 0. And then 175. This becomes 0.0175. That's it. That's how you write it as a decimal. So you write 0.0175 times f. This is your answer. It's not that complicated. You're still doing the same thing. You are moving your decimal point 2 spaces to the left and multiplying it times your variable. Nothing has changed. Let's try another example. Let's say that I am going to tell you a realtor sells a house for R dollars and she earns a commission of 0.85. Well, my keyboard has decided to stop working. So let's say she earns a commission of 0.85. Okay? Alright, so she sold the house for 100% of R. I'm sorry, that's how much the house is worth. And she gets 0.85% of R. Okay, we know the amount of the house doesn't go to the realtor. Now all I want to do is I want to find out what 0.85% is as a decimal. Alright, so from percentage to decimal, I'm moving right to left 2 times. So 0.85%, it's still not a decimal. I move it 1, 2 spaces to the left. Bring down that decimal point, the invisible space is a 0, bring down the 0, bring down the 8, and I bring down the 5. 0.0085. So your answer is going to be 0.0085 times R. I know it looks weird, but did you follow all the steps? Did you move from your percent to your decimal to the left? And did you move 1, 2 times? Yes, you did. You moved 2 times to the left. As long as you follow the steps, you're never getting it wrong. Okay, so now let's work on the very last example. And remember, my keyboard stopped working, so I'm going to have to improvise here. Let's leave the variable as... Oh, I never put the variable in there. I'm sorry. Let's make the variable in this case, let's leave it as R. Okay, and let's go ahead and say that this time the realtor earns a 0.8% commission. Alright, perfect. The house was 100% of R, and the realtor made an additional 0.8% of R. The realtor doesn't get the money from the house. Okay, I want to take my percent, make it a decimal. I'm moving from the right to the left. 0.8%. I take the decimal point, I move it to the left, 1, 2 spots. I bring down that decimal point, the invisible space becomes a 0, bring down the 0, bring down the 8. My answer is 0.008. My final answer is 0.008 times R. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's all you have to do. Always follow those steps.